Hey everyone. For today's topic, I want to discuss what you should do if you find yourself always being the one initiating to meet up with the people that you care about. If you're basically the one seemingly putting in all the effort to make those relationships work. So this is a really unfortunate position to be in, and I'm sure many of us have been there, and it sucks. So one of the first things you may want to try is having an honest discussion with that person, trying to figure out if everything is all right in their life. Maybe they're dealing with some difficult things that is taking up all their time, so they're not really focusing on their important relationships right now. It happens to all of us, right? We all go through moments where we're so focused on things that are going a bit haywire in our lives that we can't quite spend time on the people we care about. Heck, we may even just need some alone time to ourselves to work through some heavier emotions. And that's okay. So if you reach out to your friend or family member, whoever it may be, and you have an honest discussion with them, you may be able to find out if they're in that situation. And then you could ask them if they'd like your assistance to help them through it and go from there. And this is a great way of kind of tackling this, because so often people will jump to conclusions and that sort of thing, which may be a bit unhelpful, because you never truly know if someone's just taking you for granted or if they're just going through some tough things. So reaching out to them and bringing that up in an honest and authentic way, telling them how you feel, can be helpful, because usually it'll let you know whether, they're just dealing with some things or whether or not they actually do take you for granted. And if they do take you for granted, you may want to find better friends. So Now, another thing you can try doing, and this is especially helpful for when the person that you're constantly initiating with is like a romantic interest, but you're not in a relationship, you're just going through the initial dating phases. One thing I found that's really helpful here, if you aren't noticing much reciprocation, is just to give them space. To just take a step back, don't even communicate this to them, just take a step back and see whether or not they will finally start initiating themselves. And if they don't, well, sure, it sucks, but you're likely better off without them. And when you do this with people that you've known for a while, then it can tell you that maybe they're taking you for granted. But I would only do this after you've had an honest discussion with them first, just to find out. And then, if you find out there isn't really anything going on in their life that's like occupying their time, just give them some space, see if they'll reciprocate. And if they don't, find better friends. But in the case of romantic interests, if they don't reciprocate, it is kind of like a form of rejection, but you're honestly going to be better off without them. Because why the hell do you want to spend your time on someone who doesn't reciprocate, who never initiates themselves? It's always you putting in all that effort. Like, even being a guy and knowing that it's basically my job to always initiate with women, I still will not tolerate women who never reciprocate. Because why would I? Like, what the hell? I don't know what kind of old school way of dating that is, but I'm pretty sure even women in the past would still reciprocate when they really cared about a guy. So if a woman wants me to put in all the work, I'm just going to say, bye-bye. I'm going to go find women who actually care about me enough to put in effort themselves and don't want me to be doing all the heavy lifting myself. I will do that, of course. I'll plan the dates and whatnot. But if she doesn't show some effort in any way, then I'm going to be gone. I'm not going to stick around for that. And neither should you. So taking a step back and giving the other person space is a great strategy to figure out whether or not someone actually cares about you. And if they never reach out to you and it's basically like they just ghosted you, just let them stay in your past. I wouldn't even say they're worth mourning over. Like, even though it's a pseudo form of rejection, I would just move on, because you're probably going to be better off without them, and hopefully you'll be able to find someone better further down the road. So those are pretty much the 2 tips I have for you in this video. You either have an honest discussion with them if it's someone you know, like a close friend that you've had for a while, just to see if they're in a good place and if they're dealing with some things, and maybe you can help them out if they are. And if not, if they're not dealing with anything, it could give you some insight into whether or not they're actually a good friend to have in your life, because maybe they're just taking you for granted. And if that's the case, you may want to consider letting them stay in your past and finding more supportive people in the future. And then for romantic interests or people don't really have all that much history with, yeah, just give them space, see if they reciprocate. If they don't, let them go. You'll be better off without them. So that's all I have for you. I hope that these tips were helpful. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.